Hello everyone, I'm Greg Otta with FedScoop TV, and I'm here at the Brocade Federal Forum today, and I'm speaking with Richard McKinney, the Chief Information Officer for the Department of Transportation. Richard, thanks for joining us today.
Glad to be with you.
So talk to me about what is driving change and innovation in IT in 2015.
Well, I think we're at an interesting tipping point, I think, and there's a lot of things that are sort of, it's kind of a perfect storm moment.
Okay.
We have FITARA.
Right.
We have this very robust discussion about CIO authority and accountability. I think we're seeing, there's the continued maturation of cloud and the cloud services, and so you have those two factors coming together. And I think we're at this point where folks in my job have now the authority and the tools to really begin to think about, what's our construct for the future? How do we once and for all sort of move away from our legacy construct to a more balanced hybrid approach to, what should we be doing from an IT standpoint in-house? What should we be doing in the cloud? And how can we, leverage the savings that I think, and I think a lot of us think that cloud services could bring us. How can we leverage that savings to really begin to think about a new generation of solutions and services that we can provide our customers, as opposed to just sort of kicking the legacy can down the road?
So the construct for the future, a lot of that is going to be on new networks. Talk to me about how agencies can sort of upgrade their networks, or what do you see driving the ability to change those networks?
Well, we're beginning with sort of an analysis. We're trying to simplify. We're starting by simplifying, making sure that the networks that it requires and not only serve DOT headquarters, but all of our field offices, that we're looking at the way we have built that network across the country. We're trying to simplify it.
Okay.
One, for the purpose of savings. The other purpose is for the purpose of security. And then once we have that conversation, we're also then blending into it, software-defined software-defined networks and all of these new technologies. And we're trying to, so do an analysis, do a reimagining of what we have, but bring these new technologies to bear on that.
Where do you see the government turning to industry and finding a best practice for things like, virtualization and the upgrade of networks, and that upgrade of networks to be able to handle IoT and BYOD and things like that?
Well, that's part of a broader, I think the same conversation I just mentioned, which is we have to get to where we begin to imagine what's our construct going to be for the future. And I think it's going to be a hybrid. What services can we procure from the private sector and quit doing for ourselves, and then in sort of blended right in and seamless with the things that, we know that we have to retain control and management of that aspect of our infrastructure. And it's sort of that blending of the two and making it seamless to the customer, making it really seamless from a management standpoint that's the challenge that we face.
So the technology is one aspect of that, but where do you see in your role being able to affect change to break the status quo? Is it in IT planning? Is it in acquisition? I know we talked about FITARA earlier.
Yeah.
So where do you see the change coming from outside of the technology aspect?
Well, that's a great question, because it sort of begins with that technology conversation. Now, we're having to, in order to really change the business outcome. See, the whole thing about IT is that we're supposed to be enabling our businesses to change the outcome for that business. In order to build, so we have to build the infrastructure and the network and all that accounts for that. But then once we've done that, really our job really then becomes the conversation that we have with the business units about, okay, where do you need to be? What do we need to do for you? You know, businesses should be telling us what they need as opposed to us telling businesses what we can give them. We need to listen to them. We have to understand how their business is changing, how the world's changing, and they're the ones that are facing those issues. And we have to be right alongside them, prepared with the infrastructure and the services required to deliver on, deliver those IT services to them. But the whole point of having IT is to have a change in the business outcome, and it's that conversation, having IT at the table when the business is reimagining itself. That's to me the IT nirvana, if you will. That's where we need to get to. We need to quit. We got to solve our, the bits and bytes side of it so that we can have that meaningful business conversation.
And I'm sure you will be having a lot of those conversations as we move down the path to modernizing these technologies. Yeah. Richard, thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Glad to be with you.
For all of our YouTube videos, you can check out our YouTube channel. And for more information, you can check out FedScoop.com. I'm Greg Otto. Thanks for watching.